Hello and welcome. I'm David Moorhead and this is Building a Better Sefton podcast. And as you can see from the thing behind me, we are all cinema, okay? And I am delighted, absolutely delighted today to have Michael Woods, who is the cinema manager of the Plaza Cinema in Waterloo, which I think ranks as the greatest independent cinema that we have. And welcome, Michael.
Oh, thank you for having me on, David.
Not at all. And just in case there is anyone in Sefton who has not heard of the Plaza, could you just give us a little bit of history of this fabulous cinema?
Thank you. So for those who don't know, the cinema has a lengthy history. It existed in Waterloo since its opening on the 2nd of September in 1939, which coincidentally aligned with the outbreaking of World War II. So as far as we're aware, we're one of the few cinemas, or the only cinema in the world to open and have closed on the same day. So meaning that short 2 hours after opening and a screening of Self-Riding, starring Edna Best and Ralph Richardson, it closed to then open 2 weeks later and has been here ever since. We've gone by many names over the generations. We've been a Plaza originally, the Canon, the Classic, the Odeon, Apollo, and changing from a single screen cinema to a triple screen cinema under its time as an Odeon, and then brings us to the Plaza Community Cinema in 1997 after the hard work of the local community and a group of women driven by Janet Dunn, our Chair of Trustees, who saved the cinema from its closure as Apollo in 96 with the support of the community and the charity shop on St John's Road, and we're still running today. Thankfully, due to our dedicated support of the community and to a mass of 70 to 80 individuals who volunteer their time between us and the shop every week.
That is such a rich and powerful legacy to show that the community has gone into action, because I remember in 95, it was 95, wasn't it?
96, the Apollo
96,
closed.
Sorry. The Plaza was going to be closed down, and I think going to become a car park, and then we were going to have to travel to Switch Island to see films as a family. And it's just, personally, my family have grown up attending the Plaza with me, and then independently as well as children, and it's just phenomenal. But all those people you've talked about, it's absolutely wonderful, especially all the volunteers. It is so impressive. And why is it important to the community, especially now that the Plaza continues? Because in this day and age of you can get everything on the phone or your computer, whatever, why should the Plaza matter now?
Well, I suppose the one key word there is community. The cinema itself builds such a community within its place in Sefton, within its space in Liverpool and Merseyside, really. It brings people together for the love of film and entertainment and shows it exactly where it should be, on the big screen, not on the small screen. It gives everyone of all ages, all backgrounds, ways of life, a chance to come and share in the magic of the big screen, while keeping the cost as low and as affordable as possible, so that everyone can benefit from these films that grace our magical screens, and what would ultimately cost 2 times, 3 times, sometimes even 4 times as much for tickets, snacks, drinks, parking, etc. Elsewhere, it gives everyone that opportunity to come and have an enjoyable day out for as low a price as possible without breaking the bank.
Yeah. No, and it definitely, honestly, the prices are so reasonable that it is within most people's budget, and that is great. And as you say, seeing cinema on the big screen, there's nothing better. You know, it's just absolutely wonderful. Which gets us to the next question, which is, what are you looking forward to that's coming out in the next year then, that will be arriving at the Plaza?
So when we started off 2026, we sat and had a look around and had a look at the slate of the films that are coming up this year. and it's definitely been by far one of the best years we've had slate-wise. Looking at it from January to December this year, we're looking at over 200 plus mainstream films that will come out to cinema that are all got a good draw behind them. We've had the madness of the Michael Jackson film come to us over the last couple of weeks that is now in its 6th week and is still pulling people week after week. But looking forward, I'd say we've got Disclosure Day that's coming out in the next week or so, the new Spielberg film. I'm really looking forward for that. But to name a couple of titles as we go forward, we've got the continuation of the beloved franchise, Toy Story. So we've got Toy Story 5 joining on the screens for the summer.
Wow.
For the 5th time round. Some might say it's too many, some might say it's not enough. But we'll all join in there and we'll have our hearts warmed across all ages and see how it goes. As well as the re-bringing to the screen of Minions again for another film of Minions and Monsters.
Wow. Yeah.
And then we have our comic book classics as we go into the summer. We've got a new Supergirl film and the next Spider-Man Brand New Day film to hopefully bring us out into the summer.
Yes, and definitely it's something for a family to do. It's a lovely occasion for them to go out. It's not that expensive. I am looking forward to Supergirl only because of Superdog.
Yes.
I think that's the most authentic portrayal of an animal pet ever.
You can't beat a bit of Crypto. He's such a brilliant character in the series of the DC.
Yeah. Apart from showing the film and being a place for people to build community and for the volunteers there, it's a friendship, it's a fellowship. What else does the Plaza do?
Amongst our many wide and diverse programs we have of mainstream and outside of the mainstream, we have a lot of different activities that we run in the building. So I'll run a few of them. We've got a lot of what we do with it being a cinema building does tie back to film in one way or another, but we try and have as much as we can to involve the community. We offer a lot of social screenings, so we have 2 groups to mention on. We've got our collaboration with Re-Engage Crosby, so we offer a selection of over 60s Flicks and Friends screenings once a month that allows the community over the age of 60 to come and gather together free of cost, ran by Re-Engaged, to have a social afternoon, as well as enjoy a film that they may not see on the big screen normally, as well as our weekly Plaza social club afternoons on a Thursday during term time, which are open to anyone and everyone. Involves a game of bingo, a nice hot drink and that, a cup of tea, biscuits, and then if you wish to stay, there is a film screening tied onto that also. We do an awful lot of film where we now start to get discussion and a lot of question and answer things. So we've started to bring in a lot of independent filmmakers. So earlier this year we had Ben Wheatley, who's an independent filmmaker who premiered his film Bulk, I think, last year, and then had gone on a film tour this year with it. So he's taken it round, and we had a creative discussion after his filming and had him in person to talk through his process and engage and inspire those who are interested in his films, but also those who are interested in how to get where he has been today. We've also got that with an upcoming screening of Synthesized, which is another independent film, which is ran at the Manchester Film Festival earlier this year. Will be coming to the Plaza in early July. Written and directed by Christopher Green, an independent filmmaker, which also involved such big names as OMD, Orchestral Manoeuvres in the Dark, and the UK's Eurovision entry this year, Look Mum, No Computer. So they'll be in and have a discussion pre and post the film about their different process and how that's worked.
Yeah, they seem such a varied and again, I return to this word, rich experience, that not only can you see films, but you get to see films that perhaps are not totally mainstream, bringing in filmmakers, independent filmmakers, so that the community can engage, and also the work with the elderly as well. And you also do autistic friendly screenings.
So we also have a stream of autism-friendly and dementia-friendly screenings. So once a month, we run an autism screening on a Monday at 5:45, where we take either a pick of what's been on recently in the screens and then run it at a lower volume and more comfortable environment with the lights still turned up, and people can be as free as they wish within that screen to enjoy and express themselves while watching that film as they fancy. And we also run a dementia screening monthly on a Thursday, which screens a golden classic of the screen. So we've been doing a Doris Day run at the moment. So we've had By the Light of the Silvery Moon and Calamity Jane just last week. We've got a Pajama Game coming up in a couple of weeks' time. So it gives the ability for people to engage with friends, with family, with the community, but also harping on memories that may be invoked by film, by music especially. And in those screenings, we also have an interval where they can have a tea, a coffee, and biscuits, which is included in their ticket.
Yeah, that is so beautiful. That you're reaching out to people who are often marginalized and perhaps can't access the cinema experience, and providing one that is very safe for them. It's so impressive. I'm in awe of the Plaza, but now after interviewing you, I am more in awe. I just think it is, when I said it was the greatest independent cinema I know and that is about, I think you've surpassed that. I and wish you all the best, because you, as you say, you are building community through film, but it's just so impressive. Have you any final words, or apart from buy tickets and get down there?
It's all about the support. Without the community supporting us, we wouldn't be here today. So we try and do as much as we can to support that community and do what the community is interested in, what the community wants. But the critical thing is come down, watch films, buy tickets, get involved. If there's something you want to see on the screen that we're not currently doing and we could do more of or do less of, get involved, share your thoughts. If we can't do things, if we don't know that that's what the direction the customers want us to go in, at the end of the day, last weekend we've just screened the final rendition of the YouTube sensation, The Amazing Digital Circus, which had a big worldwide pull for I think it was 6 or 7 episodes on YouTube. They've then decided, as a production company, they wanted to go to cinemas for their final screening and ask their fans to get in touch with the cinemas that they wanted it screening. So back in February, March, we were bombarded with, I'd say, probably at least 20 or 30 emails over the space of a week of people going, you must show this, we want you to show this. Without that, we wouldn't have heard that this was coming up until probably it was too late to get on that bandwagon.
Yeah.
But because of that interest and that drive behind it, we could do whatever we could to get it on the screen, and we got it on for 4 screenings over the weekend, and it was packed with people who were really engaged in this community that this online sensation has brought about. It was brilliant to see people just enjoying themselves.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely brilliant. And again, it's a place where friends can come together, because you can feel today quite isolated and alone, and perhaps people watch film on their own, but together on the big screen, you listening to the wishes of the community, it's just wonderful. And I'm going to stop there, because I could praise the Plaza all day, but what I would say to anyone watching or listening is treat yourself, because it is a treat to go to the Plaza, most beautiful building, and experience film on the big screen with a brilliant community. So thank you, Michael. You've been a superb guest, and wish you and the volunteers and everybody at the Plaza the very best. Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me on.